Hello friends and welcome to my bedroom at home in the UK. Yes, I am back in England after 6 months abroad. Was going to be away for 7 months, ended up being 6 months because I've got a few exciting things coming up around Europe, but that's besides the point. I've been away for a very long time and one of the most requested videos that I've had is what's in my backpack now? What am I about to unpack? And so I have saved unpacking for this video. So I'm going to be showing you exactly what I'm unpacking, highlighting the things that I'm really glad that I had with me, but also the things that I kind of regretted bringing and didn't really use at all. Here we go. These are all of my bags. There was this one, and this one. I only started off with this one, but if you saw the last vlog, you will have seen how I managed to pick up these two as well. So we're going to start with clothes. So these were my two main packing cubes for all of my clothes. I used to have the blue as the bottom and the purple as the tops and the play suits, but that's completely mismatched over the months. I actually stuck to that for quite a while, but it was only in the last month, I think, I just didn't even bother and I just put all of my clothes in either one of them. Alrighty. So I think I'm going to categorise these clothes into what exactly they are and then go through each item and be like, this is what I would have kept and what I wouldn't have, I guess. Okay, it's all out. Now let's start with jackets. This is the jacket that I brought with me. It's a cropped, bright pink denim jacket. I wore this a couple of times in Australia, but honestly, this was impractical. I ended up buying a new jacket in literally like my first day of the trip, which was just a light pink, really soft, fleecy material hoodie from Roxy, zip up. And this is what I wore most of the time if I ever needed something to keep me warm or cover up. It was a lot more practical, a lot more comfortable and warmer more than anything. So yeah, I wish I had just brought something like this from the start. And that was my only jacket. I was in hot countries, but obviously when you go on planes or sometimes in the Philippines, it got quite cold in the evenings. And in Melbourne, it got cold in the evenings. So it is really good to have a jacket with you wherever you go. Moving on to play suits, which are my favorite item to have in my backpack. I had 5 play suits with me by the end, and honestly I wore every single one of them a lot. I just think play suits are fantastic for travelling in because it's one item of clothing but the bottom is short, so you're not going to be exposing yourself to anyone at any time. You can wear them in the evening, you can wear them actively in the day. So I had this white surfy one which I actually bought whilst I was in Australia. I had this kind of tropical floaty one which I also bought whilst I was in Australia. This one came with me from home and this is an absolute staple in my backpacking wardrobe. The same with this play suit. This one's literally just an H&M one from years ago, but I feel like every single backpacker has this. It's just a plain black play suit. I feel like every female backpacker needs one of these in their backpacks because you can just, it's so easy to wear for all occasions. The only one I did not wear was this one that I brought with me, and it's like my party play suit. And I don't know, I just felt like it was a bit too dressy for pretty much every occasion. Like it is and like a nicer, silkier material, and all the nights out that I went on were just not that dressy, you know? And speaking of dressy, moving on to skirts, I had brought this beautiful big black skirt with me, which I absolutely love, and I have worn it on all occasions before, but I just felt for this trip, everywhere where I was going, this was too dressy. I remember wearing it one night thinking, oh, it'll be fine, but I just felt really overdressed because obviously when you're backpacking, you go on a night out and everyone's just in like shorts and t-shirt. So yeah, I love this, but probably should not have brought it on this trip. And the same with this really long skirt, which you will have seen that I packed from the beginning. I did wear it a couple of times, but not enough to warrant having something this big in my backpack. I also had this little skirt, which I absolutely love, and I would have worn more, but on literally one of my first weeks in Australia, I managed to sit on some sort of gum. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty much like stained this skirt. And I was convinced I would be able to get it out at some point and I just never got round to it. But I didn't want to throw the skirt away because I really, really like it. So yeah, that was just a bit annoying. But I do think had I not stained this skirt that I would have worn it a fair bit. The only dress I had in my backpack was this one. This is one that I picked up in Australia. And I really, really liked this. It's a casual dress that I could pretty much wear every day. It had big pockets on the front. It was just really easy to sling on the top of anything. And that is essentially what you want. However, I would always favour play suits over a dress, just because there were times where I was in this dress and I wanted to go on a scooter, and when I went on the scooter the dress was just like yoo-hoo, and I was like, this is so embarrassing, I wish I had a play suit on. So basically what I've just concluded from all of that is that a skirt or a dress bottom is not very practical when you're backpacking. Now moving on to tops, I had quite a few, a bit too many if I'm honest. The ones that I really liked ended up just being the plain coloured ones. I think this is because I have quite colourful shorts, and so if you've got a colourful top and a colourful short, it often just like clashes and doesn't look good. So like just the black tank top, my black crop top, my Levi's black t-shirt, all really good pieces, as well as just these plain coloured crop tops, this white crop top, and this like pinky one as well. I wore all of these ones all the time. What I wore less of, which I was surprised at actually, was this one. Honestly, I didn't wear this one very much, and one of my favourite tops, but it just doesn't go with anything, unfortunately. I did wear it occasionally, but again, just not enough to warrant having it in my backpack for that length of time. And the same with this stripy one as well. So I found stripy tops, even though I love stripy tops, were not so practical on this trip. I also had a few other t-shirts. So this one was my pyjama t-shirt, so I obviously wore that all the time. My Let's Go Bananas t-shirt, I did actually end up wearing this one quite a lot just because it's unofficial branding. These two workout tops that I bought, I did not wear so much, and I think it was because I kind of wanted to dedicate them to working out, and I didn't work out. I mean, yeah, dedicating time to like working out or like, you know, doing something official to work out, I find difficult when backpacking, but I'm always like being active anyway, so it's not like I feel the need to like actually work out. Anyway, so I didn't actually wear my workout tops very much at all, and this is a new addition that you will have seen in my solo travel Q&A video. I've worn this on quite a few travel days since I got it. It's just a really comfy t-shirt. So yeah, I definitely think I could have cut down on that top collection. Now moving on to bottoms, starting with trousers. So I came away with these ones and these ones. I only wore these ones, I think, like twice. The main reason for that though is because I bought these ones along the way, which are much comfier, and I ended up way preferring them, and then I never wore these ones. So that was kind of my own fault for buying items that are very similar, but I always leant towards these ones because they're comfier, but also they have pockets. Items with pockets is like heaven, and it's always going to be something that I will lean towards. These also have pockets, and they are a bit more dressy, but not dressy enough to make me feel uncomfortable, and they're just lightweight but conservative. And yeah, I actually really liked having these ones in my backpack. I do think that a long pair of floaty trousers was just, yeah, great thing to have. I wore them a lot. Also, because it covers you up from the sun. I bought these ones in Australia, and I think this is like the most worn thing in my backpack. It's just these floaty trousers from Rip Curl, and yes, I'm in love with them. I 100% just think that floaty trousers, thin floaty trousers, are one of the best things that you can have in your backpack. On the other hand though, I did bring these black harem pants with me, so they go in at the bottom as opposed to just floating out, and I didn't really wear these. Maybe because I had the other ones to wear and I way preferred them, but no, I did not wear these ones enough. Maybe I've just grown out of the whole Aladdin pant look. I feel like when I wear these, I look like a 2012 backpacker, like a rookie. All backpackers who wear it's like their very first time, everyone has a pair of Aladdin pants, and I thought I was going to wear them, but I just wasn't bothered about them anymore. Just not feeling it. And also I just had my plain black leggings. I didn't wear these too much because they were just too hot, but I did wear them on the plane and stuff, and I was very, very grateful for them then. So yeah, I would still always bring a plain black pair of leggings on all backpacking trips, just for those times when you really do need them. And finally, shorts. Another thing that just absolutely lived in, mostly pairs like this and this and this and this, all just like lightweight cotton comfy shorts. You can wear them out in the evening, or you can wear them to the beach, or you can wear them to go on a hike. Just really, really versatile. Shorts that I did not wear so much were these ones. I bought them in Australia, and they're a thicker material. They're actually a lot smarter. They're really, really nice, but again, I just felt they were too nice for backpacking. I only wore them a couple of times, so they definitely weren't a priority. But a pair that I did really like was these ones, which I branded my party shorts. I did bring these with me from the start. I guess I really like these ones because they were great for the evening and going out, but they weren't like dressed up. They are still like really casual and fun. So yeah, I'm really glad that I brought my party shorts. My Gymshark shorts, I am glad that I brought them, mostly because they're very lightweight, so it doesn't really matter anyway. But these ones were really good for going on hikes and when I knew I was going to have like a super active day. They also have pockets, so. These bright turquoise denim shorts I picked up whilst I was in Australia. I actually already had them at my sister's house, but I decided as opposed to leaving them at my sister's that I would actually bring them with me on my travels. And yeah, I did wear these a fair amount, but honestly, I still way prefer just the floaty, cottony ones. The denim ones, one, they take up more room in your backpack. They're heavier, but also they're not as comfy to wear, I don't find. I don't think it's necessary for me to bring denim shorts the next time I go backpacking. And that is all of my clothes. Now moving on to swimwear. I had a lot of swimwear. Honestly, I was grateful for all of it. Where I went, the places I went, Australia, Philippines, and Indonesia, I was in a bikini pretty much every single day. Even if I didn't even go swimming, it was just easy to wear a bikini underneath my clothes. I bought a lot of bikinis and swimsuits along the way as well. If you're wondering, most of my swimwear is literally just from surfy brands like Rip Curl, Billabong, Roxy, O'Neill. I find myself always leaning towards those type of brands because I find the quality amazing. They're not the cheapest, but it fits me really well, which is quite rare for me to find something that fits my body shape. And I also was loving swimsuits whilst I was away. I got this one from Rip Curl. I think these ones I got back home both from Topshop. I bought this red one whilst I was away in Australia. And I also had a few rash vests, which I was very grateful for when I did go surfing, just because the rental rash vests that you can get when you rent a surfboard are a bit skanky. But also rash vests are really, really good if you do happen to get burnt. But let's say you're going on a boat trip the next day and you want to be in the sun, but you don't want your skin to be in the sun, you want to go swimming, rash vests are really, really good for that. Also had this plain black swimsuit, which is great. I'm not going to go into details about all the swimwear that I still have, but just know that I was very grateful to have as much swimwear as possible because I wore it every day. It was necessary. If I had only had a couple of pieces, they would have just got so skanky so quickly. Yes, lots of swimwear. Fantastic. Now I'm going to move on to a few of the more miscellaneous items. So starting with this ocean pack, which I've shown you before. I picked this up whilst I was in the Philippines and it is something that I would use literally every single day. If you're going somewhere like the Philippines or somewhere where you're going to be on boats a lot, it's really, really worth getting a dry bag. Especially in the Philippines, you go on a boat and everything gets wet. Everything that you bring on that boat gets wet. So you're going to need, if you're bringing cameras and phones and whatnot, like they're going to need to go in there to stay dry. Tip. This was my little packing cube for pants and socks. I was really pleased with the number of pants and socks that I had. I had 10 pairs of pants and about 3 pairs of socks. And yeah, I thought that that was perfect for me. There was only a couple of times where I was like, shit, I'm out of pants, I really need to do some laundry. But obviously those times I'll just wear a bikini instead. This tessellate towel is something that was gifted to me also whilst I was in Australia and I loved having it. The only downside is that it is a bit more bulky than just a sarong. However, the quality of these beach towels is insane and it felt like such a luxury to be able to lie on this on the beach as opposed to just a flimsy sarong which the sand gets on and all of this. And this one was so huge that it just always fit around my body and yeah, I really, really liked having this. If I had a really tiny backpack, it probably wouldn't have been worth it. But because I did have a big backpack, I was like, this is great. And also, because it's a towel for 2, a great way to make friends. Literally, because I'd always be like, well, I've got a towel for 2, come and join me on my towel. And literally, it was a great invitation. I always had people like, oh yeah, all right. This was my packing cube for my bras and things. And yeah, to be honest, I wore all of these a lot. So I had my sports bra for when I did something that was kind of extra physical. And all the other ones were just low impact sports bras. So they were really comfy. It's not shocking if you see it underneath your clothing. Like, do you know what I mean? If you're wearing like a proper underwired bra, if someone sees that under your clothing or if it kind of slips, it's a bit more like, oh, it's a bra. But if you're wearing like a low impact sports bra, they're pretty much just crop tops. So if it pops out from underneath your clothing, no one gives a shit. I had about 4 of these and I was grateful for all of them, just different colours and stuff. Now this packing cube was like my miscellaneous packing cube. So I had a Grace Fit UK band, thinking I was going to do a bunch of booty workouts. I honestly think I did about 4 the entirety of the time I was away. So probably wasn't worth bringing this, but it takes up no room in my backpack, and had I been more motivated, I would have used this, but I wasn't. Dang it. This was my little cotton bag, which I brought to use just to go shopping and stuff. And I wish I had remembered to use this more, but when I did, it was really useful, and it was nice to have an extra bag in my bag when I needed it, and it takes up no room. So yeah, this was a good thing to have in my backpack, I feel like. This is my large checking towel, which was my bath towel. Always worth having this. A lot of hostels don't include towels, and this one is just super thin and lightweight and packs really easily, but also because it's a large checking towel, you can wrap it around your whole body. So really good thing to have this. I had 2 sarongs with me, which was completely unnecessary. I should have just had one. I didn't use this one once. I used this one a few times until I got my tessellate towel, and then I didn't use this one anymore because I way preferred laying on my tessellate towel on the beach. But I do think that if you don't have a beach towel, then a sarong is a really good option. This is actually the dry bag that I brought with me from the start, so it was a really good idea. However, I saw that the dry bags they were selling in the Philippines, that purple one, is a lot better quality than the one that I had, which is why I ended up buying a new one. I'm not really using this one so much, but I felt like it was a waste to throw this one away, so I think I lent this to a few friends a couple of times, but didn't really use it myself. But grateful to have a dry bag in my bag nonetheless. This is my first aid bag. I just had like day nurse, night nurse, ibuprofen, blister plasters, all those random little bits and bobs, and I will always be grateful to have this. And the Diarrhea sachets are really, really good. The whole first aid bag in general, very useful. My Mac, very grateful to have this. It actually didn't end up raining too much at all in the end. My first 2 weeks in the Philippines is when it rained the absolute most, and this was like an essential every single day. But other than that, I've been really, really lucky with the weather. The rest of the Philippines trip was very, very dry. Bali was very, very dry. Australia was very, very dry. It's really good to have this, but I do feel very lucky that I didn't really need to use it. My mask and snorkel, I picked this up in my first couple of weeks in Australia to bring with me to the Philippines, and it was one of the best things in my backpack. Let me tell you, not too many backpackers actually travel with a mask and snorkel. They always rent them. But I was the envy of quite a lot of backpackers to actually have my own, because I would bring it with me whenever I went to the beach or whenever I was going to a body of water. It just adds an extra element of enjoyment when you go swimming somewhere and you can actually see underwater and you can breathe underwater. It was a really good thing to have. And I definitely will be bringing my mask and snorkel on all future tropical trips, or anywhere where there could possibly be any kind of water, to be honest. This cap I picked up when I was in Australia because Breezily sent it to me, and it was a really good thing to have in my backpack. I wish I had from the start. Caps are just great. Keeping the sun off of your face, stopping you from getting burnt, but also protecting your eyes. It's a very good thing to have. Oh, my dome. This is my GoPro dome. So this is the device that allows you to take photos underneath and above the water. I wish I used this more, but it's a bit of a faff to carry around, and it's a bit of a faff to put the GoPro in the first place. So I only ended up using this literally about twice. So I don't think this was worth bringing. I got a couple of really cool shots on there, but the fact that I brought this around with me for 6 months to only use it twice probably wasn't worth it. Another GoPro item that I picked up later on in my trip, which I wish I had earlier, was a GoPro dive housing with a red filter. I had a dive housing, but it didn't have the red filter initially, and it made my footage really greeny and like really, really blue. If you are a scuba diver or a free diver who likes to go a little bit deeper, having the red filter and a dive housing for your GoPro is really worth it. Moving on to shoes, I was really, really happy with my shoe choices. So I came away with my Nike trainers, which is what I always wear on the plane to travel, and if I did any like more intense hiking or something where I needed closed-toed shoes, yes, Grateful for these. They were my only closed-toed pair of shoes. I had my hiking sandals, which I didn't wear quite so much, but they were really good if I was doing a hike in a hot country, or if I knew I was going to be getting my feet wet but needed shoes on. These are really good for that. Just really, really comfy. Or if I was just going to be doing a long walk, really, really good. Now, I came away with these Havaiana flip-flops saying that the only other pair of shoes I needed was a pair of sandals. So in my first day in Australia, or my second day in Australia, I bought these silver pair of Birkenstocks, and these were my favourite pair of shoes. I wore these every single day, and they are absolutely ruined at this point, but I don't care because they are the most well-worn Birkenstocks you will have ever seen. I could do hikes in these. I wore these to the beach. I couldn't get them wet, which was the only downside, but I would literally just take them off and go bare feet, and that was it. And I actually ended up not wearing my flip-flops at all. Like, at all. I did not need these. I wore the Birkenstocks every single day. So that's something to note for the future. Clearly, I just prefer wearing sandals to flip-flops. And I think it just comes down to the fact that they are easier to walk in. But having a slip-on pair of shoes is essential. And I tell you what, these shower caps, which I've been putting my shoes in whilst putting them in my suitcase, they've been great. Highly recommend just getting some disposable shower caps just to put your shoes in there like that so they don't dirty up anything else in your suitcase. That was a really good hack, and I recommend you to do the same. Now, I think the only thing really left to go through now from like the big bags is my toiletries, which is kind of hard to go through because most of them are pretty empty at this point and kind of obvious. So I have my shampoo and conditioner in these little bottles, which was really handy actually, I found at the end of the day. I was quite sparing with my shampoo and conditioner so that they would last as long as possible. And then I found, because I was staying in like private rooms once every week or once every 2 weeks or so, normally private rooms or hotels have shampoo and conditioner, so what I would literally just do is fill up these with that shampoo and conditioner, and that was how I managed to just keep them replenished. So it actually worked out really well. I did pick this bottle up though whilst I was in Australia. All of the products that I have are just so faded now, like you can't even see what this is anymore because the labels just got so faded in my bag. This was a cheap body spray I got from Superdrug or something. I think the brand was called So? Question mark, I think. And I got this instead of perfume because there was more liquid in here and it took up less space. And this was a great thing to have. I would just spritz it on myself, mostly in the evenings, but sometimes in the daytime as well. And it just made me feel good to smell nice. I enjoy smelling nice, so I am glad that I brought this. My Face Fit Tan Mist, always grateful for this. Just stops me from looking so painfully pale in the face. And it means that I can use higher factors on my face. I don't have to worry about not tanning it and looking so pale because this is going to tan my face and match the rest of my body. Deodorant, of course, it's essential. So I brought this hair and scalp SPF protector and I didn't really use it at all. My scalp was not burning. Though I did have a few friends whose scalp was burning and I lent this to them. Probably should have given it to them because I didn't really use it at all myself, but good to know. I just won't bring it on another trip, I don't think. Also, this bottle has kind of been leaking and I think this is what is responsible for ruining a lot of the other products in this bag. My travel wash. Now, I brought this in order to just... Oh my god, it's checking it down with rain. England, what's going on? I bought this initially just to do like some underwear washes when I didn't have access to laundry. Everywhere I went, I had really good access to laundrettes, so I didn't really need this. I think I used it maybe once when I ran out of pants one time, but I was grateful to have this in my backpack because you don't know when you're not going to have access to a laundrette when you need it. Despite the fact that I didn't really use this, I was grateful to have it. Also in there we've got my razor, bug spray, essential of course. I've been through so many bottles of that since I've been away. Oh, and I also had this nail polish remover. Not worth having. I think I bought this whilst I was in Australia because I needed to use it once and then never used it again. Absolute waste to have in my bag. Anti-san, absolutely essential. This is my relief cream from Bites. And I got bitten a lot by mosquitoes in the Philippines and they were so itchy, and there's nothing worse than, especially at night when you're just itching away, you need something that's gonna relieve these bites, and this is what I was using. Also, I had 2 different face washes. This one was my evening one. It was like more cleansing and getting all the dirt off my face. And then I had another one which I actually purchased on Australia, which it was a Neutrogena Deep Clean Exfoliating Facial Wash, and I would use that in the morning just to try and buff my skin out and make it as fresh as possible. I was grateful for both of these things. I don't use face wipes anymore. I used to be a big face wipe user, but I think they just dry out your skin and they also take up more room in your bag. Obviously I had my toothbrush and my toothpaste, but they're in my bathroom right now as I've been using them at home. And also I had with me both of my moisturisers, and I was grateful for both of these. This is my face one, this is my body one. You're in the sun a lot, you're dehydrated, your skin is dehydrated when you're backpacking, and it's good to keep that as hydrated as possible. One thing that I didn't use, which I regret not using, but I just kind of forgot / couldn't be bothered, was this Olay anti-wrinkle cream, which I bought for myself because I thought, oh yeah, let's prevent wrinkles. And yeah, I probably should have been using it, but I didn't, so that was a waste to have in there, but it's so small that it doesn't really matter. And I think that that is it. I think that I've gone through with you pretty much every single thing that I had in my backpack. I haven't gone through with you what was in my day bag or my bum bag, like the little things like my phone and purse, but just know I used all of it. And to give you a quick review of my Osprey Xena 85, I mean, it's a little bit dirtier now than when I first got it, but that's inevitable. But on the whole, still love this backpack. Just the fact that you can tighten it in so many areas, there's so many different pockets to put all of your things in, keep them separated. I found like a good technique over time, like almost like a jigsaw puzzle, in how all of my things could fit in there in a better way. I think that is something that does just take time with all of your personal things. You find what order is best to put the things into your backpack. I was happy with how big the backpack was, so I could fit so much in, but I do wish I had filled it up less, just because I filled this up to the brim, which made it quite heavy. I mean, I guess that was good for my health to carry a heavy backpack. But sometimes when you're just like lugging it around, I was just like, geez, this is so heavy. I mean, it's all down to me. All I have to do is just bring less stuff, because then it fits into this bag so easily and nicely, and it's just an easy one to pack. But that is my own personal problem, which I need to overcome. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. I've now got to put all of these clothes into the wash because, well, it's made my bedroom a mess and they kind of stink. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and tick on that bell for notifications, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
All alone again tonight, but you don't seem to forget about yourself. Wondering how it could go so wrong, but you didn't call for help. But let me tell you about the trees and the seas, how it's all